You do not want to miss this. CTV is ingesting massive amounts of copium right now. They know the shitstorm that's coming, and it's aimed squarely at Mark Carney.
Beware, my friend. Shit winds are a-comin'.
Enjoy the discomfort from these morons as they're forced to compliment Pierre Poilievre. Make sure you leave a like and drop a comment below to help me in the algorithm. Consider subscribing, it's totally free and you can always change your mind.
Colton, hello to you. So for the first time, Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre will be squaring off in Parliament against the backdrop of an ongoing, unresolved tariff dispute with the U.S. What can we expect?
It'll be a challenge for the Prime Minister. This is the first time that he's going to be facing Pierre Poilievre in the House of Commons, who, as we have seen over the last 2 years, is very adept in the House of Commons. He was able to dictate so much of the national conversation when Justin Trudeau was the Prime Minister, to set the political agenda on things like the economy, to push the issues like the carbon tax, for example, that the Liberals under Mark Carney had to respond to and make one of their first moves, to push tax cuts. Again, something the Liberals responded to and was one of Mark Carney's first moves. What Pierre Poilievre was able to do in the House of Commons was really determine what it was that Canadians were focused on from a political perspective, and that shifted with Donald Trump's tariff threats, taking over the discussion over the last several months. But a return to the House of Commons offers him an opportunity to do that again, something we didn't see in the brief spring-summer session because Pierre Poilievre had lost his seat. And so not only is Mark Carney going to be up against quite an adept tactician in the House of Commons, quite a proficient speaker, he's also going to be up against someone who has shown that they have very strong control over the mechanisms that exist at a procedural level in the House of Commons. Think back to why Parliament shut down last winter. It was because Conservatives were clogging up not only the floor, but also the committee process as well. Pierre Poilievre has shown that he is very willing to use those committees to push his political agendas, and that's another area where Mark Carney, as a relative political newcomer, is going to have to learn to maneuver and to be an equal opponent to the Conservatives and to Pierre Poilievre. So he'll have his hands full, not just with the topics of conversation, but with all of the minutiae, and there's going to be a lot that's presented in this Parliament that will give the Conservatives opportunity to attack the Prime Minister, whether that's a tough-on-crime bill that the Conservatives are pitching, but the Liberals also say they'll have their own version of, whether it's the first budget that Carney presents in October. Jobs and the economy are going to be a key topic for the Conservatives, whether it's things like the Conservatives' catch-all bill that targets the emissions cap, that targets industrial carbon pricing. There will be a number of these issues that pop up that Mark Carney is going to have to deal with in a much more aggressive manner than he has faced so far this summer with the House not sitting.
What do you mean that the tariffs dominated the conversation? Well, obviously, because the entire Liberal election was one based solely on that fact. And media types like you morons at the CTV help propel that narrative to the media forefront. Just listen to the way that CTV talks about Poilievre being well-versed in Canadian Parliament like it's disgusting. They act like Conservatives working to make life affordable, reduce crime, and put Canadians first is a negative thing. The dude literally said Poilievre, quote, attacks his opponents, framing him as basically manipulating the parliamentary process in Conservative favor, where, in reality, the flawed Canadian political system allows for all sorts of nonsense that every political party utilizes for their own gain. Here's the truth. CTV is priming their Liberal base for an absolute ass-pounding when Poilievre gets back into that building. He's going to be the focal point, and Carney is going to feel like he's 3 feet tall, even with his elbows in the air.